I have with me Travis, and Travis and I connected through a mutual friend of ours. And he actually is going to be part of the second book for Life's Checkmark podcast with other guests as well. And so I'm excited for that, but I'm really excited for Travis to come on first on the podcast and share with us his journey through his life. We touched base and I got a little bit of a feeling of what he's going to share with you guys today. And so, Travis, I just want you to start off first. Who are you today? And then we really have to dive into how you became, who you are today to get you where you are, right?
For sure. Okay. So I'm a father of four girls and then two bonus daughters. Um, I had who I am today is not who I was yesterday, is what I see it as. My story is of redemption, um, from where I started to where I'm at now. I go above and beyond to like help people. I realize that I'm here for a bigger cause, and just just finding my place right now and who I'm trying to serve is definitely where I'm starting to blossom. Um, Good Lord, my journey started a long time ago. I'm 35 now. I live in Milford, Delaware. So let's start off early. Between like 2 and 10, my dad had left when I was really young. I blamed my mom, had a lot of anger, depression. Um, they put me on medication for ADHD, depression the next couple of years, and I started self-medicating: marijuana, cocaine, pain pills, Xanax, whatever I felt like was going to take the pain away. um in and out of juvie a couple different times, couple truancy courts for not wanting to go to school. Me and my mom had gotten into an argument one day because I stayed home from school, and we got into an argument, kind of a tussle for the keys, so I could come back inside when I left. So she hit me, and then I threw something at her, not realizing it had a brick in the door stopper. And that night I was arrested and I was sent to the juvenile detention center. I was 12 years old. I mean, I regret it. I do. Me and my mom have a better bond and connection now, for sure. But at that time, I'm sitting in this. I was only in the detention center for a day. Then I got moved to a different place called People's Place. And my father contacted me. I don't know whose idea it was to have my father contact me, but he did. And my first question was to him, "Why'd you leave? Like what's wrong with me?" And that's what I thought. Um, Met my brother on my dad's side for a couple times. And then I think I was about 16. I met my father one time. My brother took me to see him. And then I was about 16, and my grandmother on my dad's side had passed away. So we went out there again. And at the funeral, I'm walking in, shakes my hand, doesn't even hug me, and it messed me up. What type of father doesn't hug their child? And I always kept telling myself whenever I do have kids that I would never be like him. So at that time, we got back from the funeral, and my brother wasn't the best role model. We went out, strip club, doing pills and stuff like that. Um 17, 18, I broke my hand. I had still been doing pain pills. I had broke my hand because I had gotten mad, and I oh, it's a long story, but I ended up punching a cooler, broke my hand. So then I'm prescribed pain pills, and I'm doing other things. I'm selling weed because I don't have a job right now. My mom had just lost her job from Walmart. So was I proud of what I was doing? Not at all, but I was taking care of what I knew at the time, the tools that I had at the time. So I get off the pain pills. something's not right. I'm like, why? I don't feel normal. Ended up at the pain clinic, 19, 20 years old, you know. Um, couldn't buy alcohol, but sure, they would give me a prescription, no problem. So then about 21, yes, February. So December, I turned 21. I was in a detox facility for the first time. Couldn't remember, like, thinking to myself, God, I've gotten this bad that I can't not take something and not feel normal. So 21st birthday, I come home sober. I'm actually working for a local restaurant at the time. I started when I was 16 with them. My first child was born in February. So I had gotten married in March, and we had a me and my ex-wife had a couple more kids, but we had addiction together. That's what it was. It was a fueled addiction relationship. So not violent, but aggressive. I'm still dealing with past trauma of never getting over the fact of my dad. Um, I love my kids dearly. I wasn't the best. I'm not the best father, but I know now that I try to be better for them. Um, that those years were a lot of blur. Just off and on. Like sober for a little bit, not sober for a little bit, on Suboxone, on methadone, coming off methadone, um, Xanax on top of that, another detox facility, and let me see, that puts it. So I had Lyra was born in 2014, and then Arya was born in 2016. Um, we She left in 2020. So yeah, most of that time was a blur. It really was. And I think back and I'm just like, man, I missed a lot of time from spending 70 hours working in a restaurant um to not taking care mentally, physically, emotionally. Oh, so 2020, I might have missed something in between. Either way, we'll come back. So 2020, ex-wife, COVID starts happening. I had some teeth issues I was getting taken care of, and I remember looking up and seeing COVID was starting to happen. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be bad." Well, February, March, she ends up leaving. So I'm like, "Okay, school shut down. We're in an apartment together. She's not there, but the apartment's in both of our name. So she would just show up whenever, do whatever." And I'm like, "All right, this is getting old." So I'm taking care of the kids. I'm working a job, taking care of 3 kids at the time. Aria was like 3 or 4. Vera had just gone into kindergarten, and Harm was in second or third grade. So I'm doing all the schoolwork, um, going to my job, and then my mom lived about a mile away. One day she was supposed to go to a doctor's appointment, and the doctor called me and said she didn't show up. So we rushed over. I don't remember who was with me, but we rushed over, and was this in the beginning? This is before COVID had happened. She had a major stroke. I found her laying on the ground, and I blamed myself for a while. And yeah, so then COVID happened. Taking care of the kids. Luckily, my mom wasn't like too bad, but she was still able to help. Um, yeah, it was 2019 before COVID happened. So yeah, she had also had a couple more mini strokes since then. Um, so it was definitely taking a toll on her. And I mean, it wasn't her responsibility to help take care of the kids. 21 and 22, I spent a lot of time in the restaurant, or no, 20 and 21, like 70 hours a week, no problem. No other restaurants were open. We live in a resort town, so no other restaurants were open past the time we were. So we would get busy at 9 o'clock at night and not end till 11. Oh man. So 22, I had realized that I'm not I was working 6 days a week. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I've got kids to take care of. My mom can't help as much. So I started stepping back. At that time I was salaried. I had got a couple decent raises. Like I worked at a pizza joint. So I was like the pizza supervisor, but also pizza trainer, manager, GM. Like I knew everything, but they didn't want to pay me enough. So I finally got a little bit of raises, got a couple bonuses, and then the next year things started changing. I'm like, I'm tired of doing this. They're not paying me enough. Like, why am I working for somebody else so much? So I ended up getting moved to a different location. The end of 22, I had gotten in contact, or somebody had contacted me about insurance, life insurance. And I got on board with it. It kind of deterred me at first because I was on Suboxone at the time and I got denied. And I was like, no, this sucks. How did you not know I was going to get denied? So then 22, 23, we bought the house and we bought our house in Milford. And then February, probably in the summer, found out my girlfriend was pregnant at the time. So, all right, cool. So then my mind started changing more. So at this time, I'm taking Suboxone, I'm vaping nicotine, and I'm vaping THC, and I'm drinking a little bit, not heavily drinking, but just drinking. So 2024 comes around, and I'm just tired. There's got to be something better. I think I had quit drinking a few months before that, but I was like, I'm so tired of taking something every day just to feel normal. So I searched of what I could do. There was this one study they were showing it that they would go into your brain and like, because it's the dopamine and the serotonin. I was like, yeah, I can't do no surgery. So I found a shot, Suboxone, Sublocade. So the doctor that was prescribing me Suboxone, we talked about it. I said, yeah, we can do that. Oh man, there was 3 shots in my stomach, and the first one burned so bad. So bad. I was like, there's got to be something else we can do. So she started numbing it. All right. So beginning of February, I came off Suboxone. The only thing I was doing was the Sublocade, the shot. I had quit smoking THC and I came off vaping nicotine. I had started smoking cigarettes when I was 14 years old. So July comes around and I'm starting to feel the withdrawal feeling. I'm like, all right, man, I'm not treating. So what did I hear? You're in recovery, but you're not recovering. So I was like in recovery, but I wasn't fully recovering myself. I wasn't dealing with the crap. So I started smoking a little bit of THC again. And a couple months go by. I'm still doing my insurance thing. I ended up switching, this is 25. I ended up switching to a different company. Um, Guy that I got in contact with actually worked for the other guy. So I quit smoking. Just put it all down. I was like, I'm just tired of it. And eventually I started realizing that things of the old me weren't working for the new me. Um, there was a couple things I had to deal with still. And I'm still dealing with. I wasn't fully divorced. I had gone for custody first. So when we were living in the apartment, when I was living in the apartment, I got my ex-wife's name taken off the lease because she wasn't there. Then I filed for custody first. I did custody first. Didn't know where she was. So I finally had an address and I served her papers. So she never showed up to court. So I got sole custody. Um, and I don't know if you could say I prolonged the divorce because this wasn't going to be for me anymore. This relationship was just over with. And so I finally filed for divorce this year. We're finally divorced. There's a lot more to that. And I know there's other ears listening in the background, so I don't want to touch too much on that, the kids. But finally got divorced December 31st of last year. I'm sitting there and I'm hearing the conversations. Me and the GM at the time had just gotten into an argument a couple weeks ago, and I felt my time was coming near. They already told me I was overpaid, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I was doing a little bit of insurance here and there, helping families. Um, Pulled me into the office, told me, "Hey, company just sold and we don't have the money to pay you, so we're gonna lay you off, and we don't have a time for you to come back." Oh, snap. Emotions were running high. This is 19, 20 years of doing the same thing. Um, I've given you so much time, and this is just all I get? Nothing. No, I get the 2 vacation days I had left, and that was it.
So-
So I was like, okay. I said, look, first of all, I want my 401k. I want to be able to grab that. And then I also need you to stop all my payments coming out of like my medical, my dental, all that stuff. This is the beginning of the year. There's no need for me to pay for it. I made $60,000 at the time. They paid $11,000 on my medical, which I understood. I get it. It's a business transaction. That's fine. I'm at the point in my life where I'm not going to keep giving my time to a dollar amount that somebody else says that I'm worth, which I understand in this world, people are going to have to be paid by a dollar amount, which is fine. That's just not for me anymore. Um, I want to help people. I want to share my story of, like I said, redemption, from so much pain and guilt and trauma. Like everybody's story is different, but the pain is still the same. So, oh, shoot, let's go back. Let's go back just a little bit. Well, 15 years ago, my cousin Matt had committed suicide. We were close for the most part when we first moved here. And 4 or 5 months later, his brother did the same thing, committed suicide. I had met a guy named Spencer that knew Bobby Jones, which Bobby Jones knew Michael Faber. So I had started following them both on Facebook. That's how I got connected with Faber. So June of 25, I reached out to him, wrote him this letter, and said, "Hey man, I don't even know what he's about. I just knew he threw like a men's retreat and I wanted to go." So I went. Man, I was so nervous. First time on an airplane. I'm in a different state. I don't mind driving, but it's first time on an airplane. So I get there and I'm very held back. I'm taking it all in. Had a good time. Then he invites me to the virtual, because he lives right in Georgetown, like 20, 30 minutes away. So we did that. Started loosening up a little bit more. This was January. So then he had another one in March. So I went back down to Florida, and that's where my mom lives. So I always go in a day early, go see my mom for a little bit, surprise her, and then I go to the event. This time I was all in. I was open. I was different than what I was before. I soak it all in. I try to I take the notes as I can, because there's a lot of great people in the room, especially with him. It's different. And then, oh, at the virtual event, I said, "Hey man, I would love to speak one day." He said, "Well, when would that be?" I said, "I guess ASAP." So then a couple months later, what was it? March, April? I forget. He put me in contact with David. David, I can't pronounce his name. Anyway, don't don't tell anybody. So then I started sharing my story on his platform, and then I did it again, and then I did one on Michael Hummel's stories. I shared for diversities, and then the first time that I shared, Tish had did a video on Facebook, and it talked about her brother and how his addiction, he passed away. I forget how long ago she said, but that it helped her. My story helped her. And that was the feeling inside, that warm, fuzzy feeling like, wow. So, and then I shared it again, talked on it, and then I'm going there to into Denver in September to share on his stage live. So then she put me in contact with you, and it's just everything has started changing. I told myself around 2025 that I wanted to start going back to church. I wanted to go to church, but never, I've always been with like certain people, but I wanted to go to church. So my first client was a friend of mine that worked for the pizza joint that I worked for, and I we stay in contact. So I reached out and said, "Man, where do you go to church at?" That's where I started going to church. The day I got fired, that Sunday, I was at church. I missed a couple times because of going away to like Dallas and Florida and things like that, but I'm there. I'm connected now, and I feel the real family doesn't have to be blood. After the suicides, our family kind of fell apart. My aunt moved away. Um, and there was a lot of people affected by that. So, but it's been a journey that hasn't been easy. And oh man. Um, so yeah, I think I think that where I'm at now and where I can look back, because I'm not the type of person to like always look back and say, God, I've made it this far. I don't know, but I need to celebrate those wins. Because if not, it's a struggle. So still working on myself every day. Um, trying to better myself so that I can be a better provider, supporter, not just financially, but just mentally for my family. Like my three oldest, their mother isn't a part of the picture. There's a lot going on with that picture. So thank God for my fiance. She's able to not fill the role, but be a support to them.
Mm.
Um, I think that's about it for now. Like I said, I'm doing insurance, helping families, some type of investments, getting them out of debt, going into the schools, showing teachers how they can plan for retirement. Something that I never thought I would ever do. Like I always thought I'd be at the restaurant for the rest of my life. Like one day run it, but God has miracles in store, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yes, he does. Um, so you shared a lot, right? There's a couple things we could dive in and ask a few questions here, but
For sure.
um, even though we spoke before, there's a lot of similarities between the two of us that we haven't spoken before about because now I hear everything you went through. Um, but let all right, so let's just start off with what's your main focus now? Is it the insurance or is it you trying to help others with everything you went through?
That's it's kind of changed because at first it was the insurance, making sure like I made sure I couldn't get insurance right now because of the medication. I have to be off it for there's other companies I can call, but the first 10 companies that I tried denied me because of the medication. So my mom had gotten my oldest insurance back in the day through Gerber. And I was like, why did you do that? She's a baby. Who needs insurance? Boom. Said, all right, let's roll that over, put it into something else. So then I went and covered all six of the girls. Two of the three of my oldest are in therapy. So I had a problem with one company, went to a different one. And the other two had to go to a different company. So um and then it changed. Like I love helping people, making sure like because God forbid we don't know when that day is gonna come. And I'd rather show up with it. They always say that my mentor says this. I'd rather show up with a check and a casserole and say, look, you can grieve, you know what I mean? And not have to worry about where the finances are going to come from to be able to pay the bills. You don't have to worry about, oh God, how am I going to pay bills now? But then it's changed because now that I'm able to share my story and be a part of this bigger picture, they both come together. But I think sharing the story of my redemption, of redeeming myself from where I was, I think that's the main goal now.
Yeah, and it does tie together, right? And so, real quick, I dove into life insurance after I lost my job, and then before the word divorce came up, so I had to like stop for a reason. But it was something that I fell in love with for the simple fact that you can help others because they don't think about the fact of somebody passing away until it's too late, right? So what you're doing is amazing, and so yeah, you can talk about that and share and help those. Hey, this is my story, but I don't want to leave my kids with nothing. If I pass away or if something happens to anybody else, right? You have coverage. So Okay, so we know that you're focusing on helping others with your journey, right? Your story that you have to share. You're getting out there, you're speaking, you're being in books. So you're showing up. Now, you did mention uh about how much you love your kids, right? All of them. And as a man myself, I love my kids too. And for me, I see them a half a year pretty much, right? It's 7 days, every 7 days. So that's how I look at it. And that's unfortunately that's how I feel, right? I miss a lot of time. So for you, how important is it for you to keep showing up and in what way do you want to keep showing up for your kids?
My main way was showing up for them to stop when their mother was in and out of their lives and just showing up, because she was drinking and driving. They were telling me that, and my oldest was telling me this. I was like, you know what? I can't keep putting you all in this position. So I put them in, I didn't put them in therapy. I took them to therapy to help them get the coping mechanism. My mom took me to therapy too, and it helped. It did, even though it didn't help at that time. I see how it helped. Um, at that time, they just wanted to put people on medication, and I don't feel like everybody deserves medication, if you get the right coping skills. So, found this great therapist, love her to death. She's awesome. That's how I show up for my kids. Um, and I wasn't in sports. I don't know why. I think I was just too much to handle. I was just so rebellious. Um, my oldest, we had moved from Lewis to Milford, and she wanted to do volleyball. I said, let's do it. We missed the first year. I was like, all right, that's fine. Seventh grade, she didn't qualify. I said, that's fine. Let's keep going. I kept not pushing her, but yeah, pushing her like, don't give up. There's still another year. Made the team in eighth grade. Made it the best feeling ever. I gotcha. Um, Watching her, s- you know, do something with herself instead of just sitting at home and just sulking in the feelings. Um, but showing up for them when so okay, that's my oldest. Now my middle child, Lyra, is finding herself. She's lost right now. Her mother's not there. Not saying that's an excuse, but she's looking for who she is. And I think she's gay, and that's fine. I know that's young to say, but if that's how you feel you are, then I support you. I love you. I don't care, you know? Um, and her mother said to her one night at dinner when she had seen them a couple months ago, goes, I always knew you were going to be gay. Like, who says that to their child? You just say, oh, you are? Okay, that's fine. It is what it is. Like, I'm going to still support you. Um, as long as you're doing the right things, you know what I mean? Um, and then my youngest child, she had a lot of anger towards it, and I was like, it's time for you to go in therapy. You need to be able to find the right coping mechanisms to deal with it, because mine was drugs for a long time. That was my coping mechanism, and I don't want. And I keep sad thing that is, I keep it like the older they get, I'm more open with my history. I have no problem of hiding anything. Um, so I want them to understand that it was a coping mechanism, and there's other ways that you can cope with the feelings, because feelings come and go just like seasons. As long as you deal with whatever's going on, then you don't have to do the negative things. And my youngest, she's only 2, so she's just terrible too right now.
Just needs everything, right?
Yes. Oh Lord, yeah, for sure.
That's great. Yeah, and it's important how we keep showing up for our kids. And I like how that you are getting them therapy and they are finding a different coping mechanism, as you put it. Because a lot of people tend to lean towards drugs and sex and whatever else that's out there,
Right.
right? Um, yeah, there's a lot. out there to help others, but other people are not pushing it. And so I think that's great that you're able to provide that for them, and that you were encouraging your one daughter you mentioned about volleyball, just keep going, right? And it's not like you're pushing her, right? It was
Support.
just that, yeah, you're supporting her, right? Exactly. Yeah. And so I think it's very important as a father to kind of show up in that role and not like yelling, right? But just be stern and let's
Oh
just,
yeah.
I'm right here. I'm right by your side. I got you. My daughter's 13, so it's the same way for me too. And then, I know you touch a lot on the drug addiction, so I mean, I don't think we really have to dive into a lot of that. I think you are going to be helping other people get out of it if they're going through it, right? And that they can find other coping mechanisms, get therapy, talk to you for how you got out of it as well. But I do want to touch a little bit on your faith journey. I know when we first spoke, it was like December of last year, I think. So it's very young and it's new. Am I right? It was, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and so, like, what is that like for you inside? For you, do you feel a little nervous? Like, what is
Oh my
this? Or,
gosh.
yeah, okay.
So look, I'm still trying to watch what I say sometimes. Um, because so the preacher that I a pastor that I see, um, you don't just become an overnight believer or walker in faith. It takes time. And I have a great mentor in business, but he's more of like a father figure. So we have so many different conversations that we talk about business, we talk about faith, he breaks it down for me, we talk about just anything. He's a father figure. Um and I've always believed in a higher power. I knew there was somebody greater than me. Um so my faith is just keep showing up, you know what I mean? And being a part of something greater than me, which I don't know what it is yet, but I'm willing to find out what it is. Um, Order my first Bible. I'm going to read the Bible. I said, hey, look, I need to make sure it doesn't have any of that old English version because it'll lose me. I need the simple stuff. Um,
Yeah.
and that's just one thing. Keep it simple. Don't make it too extreme. Um, so that when it comes to like the verses, I'm like, all right, what are they saying here? So, but I love the church I go to. It's a lot of music, and I'm a music fan. I one thing my dad did give, two things that my dad did give me was my love for music.
Mm.
He played a lot of music. My mom told me I seen all his instruments, so I have a love for music. Um, and then not to be like him. He taught me what not to be like. Now it hasn't been easy to be a father. They don't give us a book and say, hey, look, this is what you're supposed to do in these certain situations. I make mistakes. I do. um they irritate me. I yell at them, but I always come back and I'm like, look, dad messed up. I was frustrated.
Mhm.
You're frustrated. We got to talk about this, or just certain things like that. And but I'm seeing the change because I'm holding on to faith. I'm holding on to something greater than me, because when my time comes, I want to be at peace. And that was um, a lesson that he had the other day. It was like, will you be at peace when that day comes? And I want to be at peace. I'm not. I'm working on becoming at peace, but I'm not at peace because I'm still going through the changes and everything that life brings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's definitely a journey. It's been a journey for me. So, I know you mentioned the Bible, like you want it so that you can read in plain English. So, somebody said, "Hey, go buy this book. It's meant for dads to read and share to their children." It's not in print anymore, so I had to go on eBay and buy it. So it was used, from somebody else. But that's what I use right now. Still reading through it. There's no reason for me to buy another one at the moment, right? But
what's it called?
that's a good question. It's called the Dad's Bible.
Dad's Bible?
Yeah, the Father's Plan.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, it has a green cover. I don't know how long it's been out of print, but I like it. It's got little things in there that you can talk about with your kids. Like it says, this is how you should show up as a father and share, the Lord's um, words and everything, and kind of get them involved, right? And so that's been a part of my journey, and it is different. It does take time, and the time will come when you go, okay, I'm here. I believe everything. I'm right there with you. And so it's just you showing up and reading and listening. Even when you're not in church, just listen to YouTube videos or whatever that looks like, or podcasts, right? There's quite a few I've been listening to lately. But I just want to say, like, for me, it definitely changes a lot, right? And so I just drop all my worries, doubts, and fears and let him take care of it, right?
Right.
And then here I am to serve others. And so that's like this platform. You came on, Travis, you poured everything out about your journey. And like everything. Like I love how you did the timeline, the ages and everything. Cause sometimes people go all over and I'm like, okay, I have to go back and navigate through that. But I like how you shared all that. And we kept it real, right? So you share it from your heart and you're not holding anything back. You know what I mean? And I know we could have touched things deeper, but we just didn't this time. I I commend you for everything you're doing, and I'm excited to see where you're going. I'm excited for you speaking and again getting books and podcasts, whatever that looks like for you, right? Yeah, you're a good man, so you're doing a lot of great
Thank you.
things. Yeah,
Appreciate you.
yeah, and I would just want you to first, how can people connect with you, learn more about you, and how you can support them in any way.
Oh, so I mean, you can look me up on Facebook. It's Travis Kammerzell, Kammerzell, or shoot, even my phone number 302-396-4918. Um, yeah, it's just pretty much Facebook and my cell phone right now. I haven't really done into anything else of like Instagram or TikTok, but yeah, if somebody needs help, I'll be there for them.
Sounds great. Yeah, I'll put all that in the show notes, and then so I just have one question to ask everybody at the end. What are three key things you've learned and used along your journey?
Three key things
You've learned and used along your journey.
used and tried. Oh, I guess I should have looked that question up first, man.
Ah, you're good.
No,
Good.
no, three key things. As in things that I've learned along the journey. Um, One thing is that I struggled with a long time that I was gonna turn out to be like my father, even though I didn't want to. I
Mhm.
know I didn't, because I'm here every day for them. I might not be the best, but I'm here for them. Um, the second one, I'd say the addiction. I mean, that was a big part of my journey that made me who I am today, to realize I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. It wasn't fun. I mean, I wasn't shooting dope or anything, but I was close enough to it. I was sitting with people and I was like, I wonder what that would feel like. So thank God I didn't get there. Um, and I would say my third one is like everything changed in that day, December 31st, 2025. It was a real life changer. I'm going into the new year a new man. And first couple of months were still rocky, still trying to comprehend, like, oh man, I ain't got a job. I was like, all right. But everything has everything has a reason. There's a can't think of what it said, but there's a reason for everything that happens. And I guess that would be the third thing. What I would say is everything has a reason and it's happening because it's happening. I have no control over what happens. Now, I can not alter things, but I can be determined in doing what I'm supposed to do. But God has a plan for me, and I'm here, and I'm ready to take it full throttle.
That's well said. And so for me, and maybe you can think about this too. You don't have to answer this now, but looking back, right, as you're on your faith journey now with God and everything, looking back, just think that he lined everything up for you to get to where you are today, right? I had to think the same thing, and I'm like, wow, like I had to go through all that to be who I am, become who I am, right? To help serve others in the way I am. So, I don't know if you want to share a little bit about that or anything, but it takes a lot to go back and go, yeah, he did do that.
Yeah, I mean, there was plenty of times where I didn't know if I was gonna make it out of the car and
Mm,
how messed up I was. The main thing, I hope this doesn't sound it always comes out wrong. It sounds wrong in my head, but if my cousin Matt wouldn't have committed suicide, would I have ever met Michael Faber?
right.
So that man I owe a lot to, because I wouldn't be in the positions I am today. I wouldn't be in the rooms that I am today if it wasn't for his connections. And I'm blessed to have him in my corner. Like anytime I need him, he's right there. Great supporter, great mentor. Love the man. The do.
That's great. Yeah, and I know I had to think back on some, bad experiences in my life too, and just think if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here, right? And so, no, I'm glad you shared that. I'm glad you went a little bit further with that. And Travis, it's been great having you on and sharing your journey. And anybody that wants to reach out to Travis, checks the show notes, his number, Facebook page, and everything, and just connect with him, and you guys just have a talk, right? And see what you
Sir.
can do to serve. Again, thank you, Travis. I
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
man. Appreciate it.
Welcome.